What?
Nothing. Just a long morning already.
It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Yeah. It's only one here.
Creating Connections Podcast, episode 48. Yeah, so it's not always fun and games. Sometimes it's dealing with real life. I'm sure you know, right? You deal with real life all the time.
We all do.
And sometimes it's a struggle dealing with real life. Vickie and I both have some personal situations going on right now that are a challenge.
Yeah.
So thank you for being part of this. It's not about Vickie's and my personal struggles, but it is about you, and it is about how we can create stronger connections with our colleagues, with our clients, with our community.
Yep.
And that's what the book is about. And today, on episode 48, we wanted to talk to you about a situation that came up recently in Sales for Event Pros. We often use people's posts in there to draw inspiration for these podcasts sometimes and to share and hopefully encourage more people to join that group and to hear your responses and feedback of what you think on our YouTube channel. Just click on the comments below.
Well, and this piggybacks on what we started talking about last week, that idea that marketing, sales, and performance are all interconnected. And when you realize that you can't fully separate one from the other 100%, you have to be focused on each area, but also how they relate to one another and how that helps with all of your connections. But there was a post recently that just kind of made me go, yeah, that's a great example of what not to do in sales.
Yeah, Jason Cathcart recently took one of my Gitomer Certified Advisor workshops in Las Vegas, and he's also a member of Sales for Event Pros. So
he took one of my workshops last year too.
Yeah, shout out to Jason. He did. Yes, he did.
He actually organized the one in Calgary.
He's a great guy. I love Jason. So he posted on Sales for Event Pros, thanking me for providing an education in sales, and he just had a meeting with a guy who had flown to Calgary. So this salesperson, flew from Calgary, or from Montreal to Calgary, for the week to sell advertising in a folder that a local bridal shop was giving out with their receipts inside and stuff. And Jason was kind of skeptical of the value, going into the meeting, because who is more skeptical of a salesperson than another salesperson, right? But sometimes, as Jason does, and I do too, you go to the sales meeting just to see, maybe you learn a new technique or something, right? You never know.
And they might surprise you,
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know.
And so the salesman that Jason tried to meet with had no techniques. In fact, he was 20 minutes late to the meeting because he had the wrong address written down. And his first words to Jason were that he only had 10 minutes so that the rest of the day wouldn't be running behind too. Then he showed Jason the folder, told him what each ad space...
What a way to show the person you're trying to connect with how much you value them.
Yes.
He lost me right there. I can't even imagine.
Told him what each ad space cost, and then said, and that's it. Jason said he tried to lead him to show some value, but either he couldn't or wouldn't get there. In the end, Jason asked about payment plans for the ad, and his first move at this point was to knock $200 off of each of the spots he had before breaking them into 4 monthly payments. So let's examine this sales scenario here and discover what I count 4 missteps here. I don't know how many you counted. I got 4.
I was going to say at least 4.
So the 4 missteps I have, I want to back up and say, number 1, he didn't prepare, or what we talk about in Sales for Event Pros and Sales and Solutions Workshop is research. So he didn't do any research. He didn't know anything about Jason before he walked in the door. He didn't prep anything in regards to his pitch, if you will, to Jason about his company.
And even before that, he didn't know where he was going.
Right, exactly. He wasn't on time.
He didn't even know where he was going, so he couldn't get there on time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's prep that you need to do even before the actual research part of connecting, just basic courtesy.
Yeah. And so that's the first thing. So do your research in advance. If you're prepping to meet with a bride or a client or another local wedding pro, whatever, be sure that you are researching them ahead of time. Use Mother Google. Use your social media accounts. Find out who they are as people. Lots of tips here of things you can do. And we go in depth in this in regards to this subject matter in the Sales of Solutions workshop, and physically exactly how to do research, how not to do research, how to bring it up appropriately. There's a lot of detail here. So the second mistake I got was the approach to tell Jason upon arrival that I only have 10 minutes, so the rest of my day isn't running late. He made it about himself.
Yeah. And took no responsibility, it didn't sound like, for the fact that he's the reason his day is running late. It's not Jason's fault. Why is he going to shortchange the prospective client?
This also speaks to a much bigger issue. Much bigger issue that Mark Farrell has been speaking about for years. Why was he only going to give Jason only 10 minutes of his time and cut into Jason's time versus cutting into someone else's time during the rest of the day? Or, God forbid, maybe cutting into his lunch. I don't know. But it's because Jason is a DJ. Lack of respect for us actually running a business. Jamie Bodie talked about it today on Facebook, paying taxes. All these things that people think, oh, it's just fun on the weekends, extra money. No, it's not. At least not for us.
How we support our families.
So it drives me absolutely nuts that this guy had a lack of respect for Jason, the businessman, running a legitimate business, who has the cash to stroke the check if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy just blew him off because he's a DJ, whatever. If he books, great. If he doesn't, whatever. And that was the attitude he had.
We're kind of speculating a fair amount here, but yeah, that was definitely. I don't think
so.
The impression I got.
If you read between the lines on that post, on that statement, to me that speaks to a much bigger issue.
Yep. No, I don't disagree.
So his first words to me were they only had 10 minutes, so the rest of his day wouldn't be running behind too. And Vickie and I speak about this in Creating Sales Connections. And I spoke about it in Creative Consultations in regards to you put others' needs ahead of your own.
Well, and being on time is a sign of respect in and of itself.
Yes.
And I don't know, but so then to be late with Jason and then devalue the fact that Jason probably drove somewhere to meet him, to whether it was an office or another meeting location, and was probably sitting there for that 20 minutes. And then, I'm not going to bother to give you my presentation because, I'm assuming if he budgeted a half-hour meeting, he hopefully has done a presentation of some kind, because it sure sounds like Jason didn't get one.
Well, so that was the next part. Then he showed me the folder, told me what each ad space cost, and then said, and that's it. So this clearly isn't showcasing what is in it for the customer, is in it for Jason. He's not doing some exploratory questions, trying to understand what Jason needs, trying to understand if Jason even needs his product, because he doesn't care.
It is, if they're the right kind of clients, if it's a good fit, if it's in the areas where he likes to work.
If it's going to deliver Jason his ideal client. That's what advertising is. Advertising vehicles need to be sold on the basis of same thing we're looking at, is that our target client? And the same thing the advertising vehicle needs to be looking at is, are they marketing their advertising vehicle towards their target clients? the
And
ones that can
what
benefit
measurable
the most.
results can you show me? How are you tracking this? Do you have statistics from, last publication or the last time you did this?
Exactly.
No, I'm not going to spend money with someone that doesn't have the means to the data to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so important that you have that, and that you have that rapport built in. And this guy had none. He just wanted to come in, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, for lack of a better. Well, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's what he wanted. He wanted to go right from the first date to.
Nice sales analogy.
Well,
there.
So Jason even tried to lead this guy into showing him some value.
Yeah, he sounds like he was asking the leading questions and waiting and giving the guy a chance. Show me what you can do. Tell me, sell me on this. And he had nothing.
So the third mistake again, was not caring about Jason as an individual and how his product as an advertising vehicle could help Jason get more business. The fourth mistake here is this salesperson dropping his pants, and sorry, that's what we call it sometimes, is dropping his pants in regards to, knock $200 off of each of the spots before he hadn't had an agreement from Jason that Jason was going to buy.
Not only does he not value Jason, he doesn't value what he's selling either.
Right. And if you don't value what you're selling, get out.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, I hope he goes and finds a new job doing something that he can do better.
Yeah, he needs to. So when we talk about the sales cycle in regards to marketing and selling and performance and how they are all intertwined, and this was inspired by George Lopez, again, from J&M Events in Valencia, California, where sell when you perform and perform when you sell, the quote. And this guy clearly doesn't value what he sells, and he clearly is not performing when he sells. So the clarity here is to understand how that impacts you as an individual, how it impacts your marketing from a company, and how it impacts your performance when you're out in front of anyone, because your performance is also when you are selling. It's not just when you're mixing music in front of an audience or the master of ceremonies in front of a crowd. It also is when you're in front of any audience, and that includes the person you're trying to connect with.
An audience of one.
Yes. Which ironically enough,
the hardest and most important audience.
It is. The audience of one is so crucial. And that goes back to performance.
Yep.
Because when you're performing, truly performing, you're not broadcasting. Broadcasting is shotgun approach, getting out to everybody. That's not what you're doing when you're performing. You are connecting right here. That's what you're doing.
Yep.
The audience of one is who you need to worry about.
They are all interconnected. Marketing, sales, performance.
So that is Creating Connections, episode 48. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
I'm Certified Personality Trainer Vickie Musni.
Check us out coming up in Minneapolis on Monday, February 15th. I'll be the morning keynote for the National Association of Catering Executives, and we want to thank our fine friends from the Minneapolis NACE chapter for letting us try to create some connections there.
So fun.
Pick up our new book.
Next month, we're going to be in Vegas.
Yes.
And you'll have chances to go in depth on all of this. Again, the sales, marketing, and performance will be covered at Mitch's seminar, Roar.
Yes.
And then you've also got the whole sales process and the all-day workshop on Sunday.
Yes, Sales and Solutions Workshop
on
Sunday. And if you want to understand how personalities tick, if you want to understand how you can apply that to your business, you need to be in Vickie's workshop.
Sales, marketing, and performance.
Yes, in all three facets. You need to be in Vickie's workshop coming up on Monday morning, starting off at 8:30 in the morning. Go to VickieMusni.com for more information to get your tickets to her workshop. I know seating is limited, so be sure to get your ticket for that if you haven't already done so.
Thanks.
We'll see you in Vegas, and please see us again. Comment below if you have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas. If you want to see me wear a different colored shirt, whatever, I don't care. We'll
have different colored shirts?
Huh?
You have different colored shirts?
I do. I have mauve. No. Thank you for joining us. Pick up our new book at creatingconnections.biz. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.